speak to this from, I mean, like internationally, right? Like I'm just like American born and like talking about, like you, racism has to be some.
I'm American born too.
But I'm saying, no. But my mama was born in Chicago, like, yeah, no different.
I know. I mean, we were talking about this earlier, Courtney. Like, what I find really interesting is that people will often, when these things are talked about, it'll never be in big groups, it'll be like side comments, where people look at it as complaining. And like, if a group is speaking up on a specific issue or they're raising awareness about something, it's like, oh my God, what? We gotta do this now? We can't say this now? This is bad now? This is bad? So it's not as direct as the obvious racism that Emily, is she's pointing out that it's the microaggressions and how do you change that? And it's not just from white to color. It's among color to color. You know what I mean? Like that exists. It's not just ignorance is everywhere. And so it's in different stages. And so I look at it as, how do we take this and not look at it as complaining and say, why is this group speaking up? How can I listen? And rather than looking at it as something complaining, how can I educate myself on that? Have the love and compassion, okay? And actually be like, oh, it's not like all the fingers are coming on me. It's just about this is something I need to be aware on so that I can educate myself better. And what better way to do that than through comedy, right? Did you so this thing?
Never mind. I'm tell them that we could get some books back, but never mind.
I wanted to talk to Vargas because as someone who tours other countries and just the experience and you headline shows across the US, like just speaking to doing comedy in different areas of the world.
It's beautiful because just traveling the world, I think one of my favorite things is being in Korea. And you know how like you see another black person, and there's only a couple of you, you're always like, and it's a beautiful thing we have. I didn't even realize how lovely it is because it's just like I got you, I'm here with you, it's just I'm acknowledging you.
It's because y'all were fucking bitches.
But this is the thing, I'm in Korea, big old brother walks by, all he's all swollen, he walks by and I'm like, what's up? Doesn't do it back. And I'm like, what? I was like, damn, okay, maybe he didn't see me. I literally ran like up the street and down the block so I could pass him again when I was like, trying to do it, and he didn't even do it. I realized he was African and not African American. Because if he was in Africa, he'd be doing this shit all day. But before I know I'm just wrong. It was the world is beautiful, and just being able to see the world. But what I want to point out is tonight, I'm a little bit older than y'all. I've been doing comedy a long time. We have a panel of young, enlightened females up on stage just speaking truth. It is just a lovely thing. Can we get them on stage? It's lovely to see. It gives me hope for the future as well. And to tell you, just try to bring it quickly. When I first started in comedy decades ago, I never did Chocolate Sunday. I never did the Black Night at the Improv or anything, and I had a chip on my shoulder, and it was wrong because you should be with your people. And I've done shows like Path to 10, whatever. We used to do the comedy act, which was Robin Harris's room. You get booed off the stage. So I do black rooms, but I never did a black room in a major club because I never wanted them to regulate me to nigger night. And I literally was like, you will never get your respect. You will never move up. And unfortunately, and even though now, today, I'd say it's somewhat different because there's people making moves who will help you. Back then, it was one of those times where it was like, I would be on the Friday show with the white comics, and people would be like, how'd you get on tonight? And I just always in my mind said that I will never do that. And so it's beautiful that we've progressed, but we have so much further to come. Right. And the beautiful thing, and I think you were saying is that laughter is the universal bond, right? It's a thing that brings us all together, that we can all share, we can all laugh. You can touch somebody's mind and heart, not even knowing it, and you can let them know we're the same. I was in El Paso, and I had a joke about an ex-Asian girlfriend who was like...
Told ya. I already know.
She had to get that in there. I know.
He looked just like my daddy, that's why.
No, okay. So, but literally, I was in El Paso. I was doing a joke about my ex, and the whole joke is about chitlins. And I was trying to explain chitlins to her. She's like, "Vargas, what the fuck are chitlins? You know, why do they smell so bad?" El Paso, nothing, no life. Right? There weren't enough black people in the audience to even get chitlins. And I was like, "Oh snap!" And it was just one of those moments where I was like, "Oh my bad. Let me translate for y'all. Vargas, what the fuck is menudo?" Because I know menudo is made from pig intestines, just like chitlins is. And it was the loveliest thing. The whole crowd was like, ah! And we can use laughter to bridge those gaps and let everybody know that we're just the same. And if you think about it, it was like the Michael Jacksons, it was the Jordan and the world of hatred during that time that was like, how can you hate and love black people at the same time? And like Ellen DeGeneres, like breaking that bond of like, we don't have to be afraid. And we're just like each other. And people using comedy to do that. And so I love just the fact that each of you said something tonight that can touch your mind. I wish this was on a bigger, wider scale. So
It will be. It will be soon. Yes.
Hold on. Marcus, you just said something that really shocked me. You said, I'm older than everyone on the stage. How old are you? I need to know.
The internet thinks I'm 30. I don't know.
Are you scared to say you work in a
I have a daughter who has a driver.
Okay, so you're 50 and older?
Oh my God.
30 times. 30.
Are you trying to figure out if you're older than
30 plus 20?
Plus I'm over 20.
You would never do that to a woman. She is a minority on this stage. Let this man. Yes, let this. I'm protecting all men.
You rolling with him. You got me rolling with him.
I don't fuck them, but I will protect their feelings. I got you, boss. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I don't know how much time we have, but one of the questions that we talked about was, do you feel like you have a responsibility to talk about these things that maybe your race, or whatever groups that you identify with, that do you feel strongly that you have to represent that on stage?
Oh yeah, I'll take this one first. Yeah. It's actually going to go in with what you were saying, you were asking before, because I feel like at least the Indian communities that came in later, because Indians came in at a very interesting time. They came in like in the 60s and the 70s, and more as professionals, a lot of them. So they came in a very different space. But I feel like the attitude of my parents was always, and the community, is like, don't cause a ruckus. Don't make yourself, like, if they take something and they do something, just put your head down. Like, don't make a scene. And then I feel like that's prominent in all of the Asian, like a lot of the Asian and immigrant voices and communities. And so it's like, it's if they do that, if they do something racist or stereotypical, it's cool, we're getting represented. Like Apu from The Simpsons, right, is voiced by a white man. You know what I mean? Like, black people don't even know that for so many years. And is it that hard to get into? I mean, there's so much of that. And until the people don't raise a voice, that community doesn't raise a voice, they're not even seen or heard. And again, if they do raise it, it's seen as complaining a lot of the time, which is what I'm getting at. And so and I understand where my parents' generation came from, because for them it was about survival. It was not being attacked at XYZ places at a certain time, especially after 9/11 too, because all brown people apparently look the same, right? So, it's about like, okay, for them it was like, we're just surviving, we're just trying to make a life. And so for the kids, it was like, we have that privilege of our basics taken care of, so how can we raise a voice and cause a ruckus? You know what I mean? How can we be seen? And for me personally, it's like, I cannot believe that I am literally one of the only yoga teachers at Loyola Marymount University in all of Los Angeles. Like, that's crazy to me, and it comes from my culture. So
that's because they're doctors and lawyers.
No,
Indian.
that's I agree with you. Like, look, no Indian family is like, you're gonna go into yoga. They're like, doctor, lawyer, engineer. Trust me, I
So
get
they're
it.
just not yoga teachers.
I
I'm
get
telling you.
it.
That's-
But there are Indian yoga teachers, but they're not in that academic space, or they're not invited to speak because they don't have the qualifications.
So your responsibility, like to like, so does that, is that what you're saying, that
So-
like with all of that?
So I don't want to be talking about this. I don't want to be educating people on a lot of these things. I really don't. But I feel like shit's hit the fan so much that I feel like I am responsible. If nobody's gonna speak or enough people aren't speaking, I'm gonna do it, and I'm doing it in my entertaining way. So, that's how
what hurts is that because, especially after 9/11, my mom, because she spoke so many different languages, in my family we have a lot of different religions. And once 9/11 happened, she told us, don't speak Arabic anymore, don't speak this anymore, don't do this anymore, because she was afraid that something was going to happen to us. So it's very difficult for me because I never felt accepted in either area. Like, I didn't feel accepted by Ethiopians because she kind of cut it off so that we weren't going to have issues or there won't be any prejudice or whatever. And then I didn't get accepted with like Americans and stuff because I was raised with like a French background, an Arab background, like all these different things. So I never felt comfortable, and I feel like that's very rude and disrespectful. And when I was in high school in Colorado, I don't even know how this happened, but this kid came up to me and called me a nigger, and I was like, do I look black?
What gave it away?
Exactly. And then like now he's married.
I could have
to a
sworn
black
you were gonna
girl.
be like, thank you.
Somebody recognize me.
Oh my God, right now. You should have been there for me. Where were you?
Where were you? Yeah, okay, that's awesome. And anybody, I mean, I know, so I'll speak while, you know, I'll moderate, you do.
Well, I don't feel like, my mother always taught us, don't look at the exterior, look at the heart. She said your own people will sometimes do you in. So when I look at people, I don't see the color. I see if you're an asshole first. And then I make my decision if I want to rock with you. So when I stand on this stage, I represent people. And I try to translate my life and try to change someone else's life. So I use my testimonies to not just to heal me, but to heal somebody else that may need it in this seat. I'm the type of comedian that I don't talk about people in the audience because I don't know what you're going through. You paid to get in here, you paid to sit here, you paid to laugh. Not at I'm not gonna use you for my benefit. Because if you walk out that door and you kill yourself, that's on me. So I wanted to leave you light, airy, and with hope. So I don't stand here representing black, white, Hispanic. I represent people. So right or wrong, that's who I rock with.
I'll just say one thing, because you mentioned 9/11 twice, and I just look at it from a little bit of a different perspective. Y'all remember, there's a time when if you were on TV, you had to be, and you were black, you had to be a gang member,
Exactly.
you had to be a criminal of some sort, you had to be a runaway slave. Robert Townsend did a wonderful movie, Hollywood Shuffle. And he literally talked about how he had to make his own movie to break that stereotype and to have a career for himself. And I love hearing about 9/11. I know we all go through our own trials and tribulations, just in the same way with COVID, the Asian community was attacked all of a sudden and was vilified, having nothing to do with it. And so, but with 9/11 happened, there was that paradigm shift that I feel like, and sometimes, I guess the whole world can't see it at once, but we were no longer the gang members anymore. We were all of a sudden in the same boat with everybody else. And there were no villains now, but it was all of a sudden like, oh shit, y'all ain't scared of me anymore.
Yellow alert, they are red.
And just about speaking the truth, I mean, I say be honest, be yourself, talk about, if that's what's in you, I say talk about what's in yourself, and just shine Shine with what you have. The world will accept it. I was a little kid and I had a teacher, she's a little bit of a bigot, and I sat with the worst kids in class, and you know, and she was an equal opportunity bigot. She hated the brown skinned people, she hated the poor white trash at the same time, and she'd grade papers, and she would go, you know, and to like more fluent white kids in the class, she'd be like, oh, your margins aren't good, you didn't do your name right, you didn't put a heading. I'm gonna give you an A, you'll fix it next time, right? And they'd get an A. And me and the bad kids would sit in the back and be like, teacher's pet, teacher's pet. And you know, we'd go up, do the same thing, we'd get a C, get a C minus, we'd be like, yep, right, same thing. I got in a talent show as a little kid. You know, I actually put on a dress and did cross-dressing when I was like a little kid. And I was just like, it got laughs, so I did it. And one day she bursts in the classroom and she goes, somebody got us in the talent show. Who got us in the talent show? Somebody said one of my kids is in the talent show. And I've been telling jokes forever in school. So everybody just like how do you not know it was Vargas, right? Next day she's grading papers. She's like, your margin's a little off. Your heading's not correct. You're gonna fix it next time, right? I was like, what the hell is that? And I walked back, she gave me an A. And I walked back and I sat with the kids, and Tony Weems was the worst kid in school. He was the biggest bully. And I sat next to me, saw that A, and it was like we all got over for a second. He was like, teacher's pet, man. Right? And so I say shine. Shine as bright as you can. You will open eyes. You will change people's perspectives. And I saw that in each of y'all tonight.
Emily, love you. Thank you for sharing that. Close us out, Mom.
Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you all so much for bringing your time. We so appreciate everything for being here. And we want to keep doing this. We need to keep doing this. So, you know, come back. Yeah.
October 9th?
What?
What's the next day?
October 9th. October 9th. Yeah. So come back. And the Crow is an amazing place. So please and thank you. Yeah. It's an incredible place. And thank you so much for being here. And if we can just stay, maybe take a couple of photos, and then we'll rush outside for the fresh air and some hugs.